we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order, and we can get started.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, so the first item that I put on here there were some minor revisions to the phase reopening plan. The state got back to us, and they said they wanted to see us to address the issue of providing testing to the county's low-income population, and we have addressed that. Melissa addressed that portion. Also, they wanted letters from the hospitals with regard to PPE supplies. We've received letters from all 3 hospitals attesting to sufficient PPE supplies. The revisions were made to the plan. I did submit it about an hour ago. A lot of counties are submitting right now, and just wanted to get into the queue on that. But I would have sent this out. I would ask that the board ratifies the revisions that were made to the plan, and then it's probably also a good idea to delegate authority to the board chair to make any changes requested by the state, so we can get this across the finish line if there are any additional changes.
I move that we ratify the amended or the submission this morning, and that we authorize the chair of the board to make future corrections or additions to the application.
A second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks, Matt, for sending that in right away. We appreciate it.
No problem. Once I got my email working, I got it right in. So the second one, I didn't put it on here, but I spoke with Commissioner Sweet, and he said that he wanted to do an update on, you guessed it, parks in Coos County. So take it away.
I've been waiting all weekend long.
Yeah, I know. Take it away, John.
Well, we were very, very successful in having a soft reopening. We had 17 guests at Riley, 7 at Powers, 3 at Laverne, none at 10 Mile. However, there were 19 trailers in the boat launch area yesterday morning, and nothing at Bastendorf. I have some recommendations. Part of that, I believe, was due to the fact that we had didn't give people very much notice to prepare to go camping this weekend. The other part is that we rarely get anyone at 10 Mile, at Riley, from camping site at least, from Coos County, and the same at Bastendorf. So I thought maybe to boost business a little bit, we might look at a couple of changes that we could implement
John?
This week.
Before you do the changes, can you go over those numbers again? You had 17 at Riley.
17 at Riley, 7 at Powers, 3 at Laverne, no campers at 10 Mile, and no campers at Bastendorf.
Okay. And those are 17 spaces at Riley, right? Not 17 individual
17
people?
spaces.
Okay.
Now,
thank you.
Part of those spaces, I don't know that our communications was all that it should have been. Some local people rented a space at several of them, I don't know how many, at Riley, and used it only in the daytime. I think they bent the rule a little bit there on that. So we had fewer legitimate campers there than that. And then going back over the rest of the numbers I gave you, we rarely get any overnight guests from Coos County at Riley. We rarely get any overnight guests at Bastendorf, or from Coos County at Bastendorf. Our Powers and our Laverne parks are, generally speaking, heavily weighted, I can't remember the percentage, but very, very high, to county citizens. And I don't know who comes to 10 Mile or why they would. So some thoughts to share with you. would you think if we were to open Riley and Bastendorf to Coos, Douglas, Lane, Josephine, Jackson, and Curry starting this weekend, or later, anytime this week? Leave Powers and Laverne for county residents only.
Will you go over that again, John?
Okay, what would you think if we were to open Riley and Bastendorf, not only to Coos County citizens, but also Douglas, Lane, Josephine, Jackson, and Curry, starting this week?
Starting when this week?
Pardon me?
Starting when this week? Like today or Friday?
Say Friday.
I'm good. Now, you're talking about 7 days a week open for the surrounding counties.
Yes.
Okay.
More than just immediately contiguous counties, but also to Lane, Josephine, and Jackson.
Yeah. Lane South, okay. I heard from a back channel that possibly U.S. Forest Service was considering opening the other accesses to the dunes, like Hauser, Binreal, etc., possibly by Wednesday. So that would, our proposal would correspond with that.
Yeah. We had, as of this morning, we had 31 reservations on the books for Riley. Half of them were from the state of Washington. And we've been canceling reservations on this is for next weekend, reservations for next weekend. Half of those 31 were from Washington. Must have been about half. I don't know how to get half a reservation. So at any rate, we've been canceling reservations on a rolling weekly basis. So I asked Tammy to go ahead and cancel the reservations for the people from Washington. The remaining reservations were all from those counties that I just named off. So we can leave those on the books, or if we decide to limit all or any of those counties, we could cancel them.
Yeah, sounds good.
Melissa, any thoughts?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
No, that sounds good to me.
Okay. The other thing, we had quite a bit of pushback or upset people in the county because they couldn't use Riley on a day-use basis. I realized it, but apparently a lot of people go out there and just park, theoretically pay the $5. I think most forget to do that and go ride without camping. John, we have some construction going on out there right now. I don't know how much that would impact use of the day use area. But if John deems it safe, what would you think about opening that up for county citizens only during the weekdays, not on the weekends when we have anticipate having a lot of other traffic out there? Or we could open the weekends as well. And I don't know if we could restrict that to just county. It might be hard to restrict day use to just county citizens if we do open it up. But generally, people wouldn't come from too far if they're coming just for the day.
Yeah.
I guess we'd have some.
I'm good with opening the day use.
And I'm not suggesting that yet because I'm asking the question, but I want to make doing so conditioned upon our approving it and Parks feeling it's safe given the construction work that's going on there.
Is there anybody else you can think of that we need to be getting feedback from too?
I just got off the phone with a gentleman who lives in Coos Bay, and he would like to have the day use open to take his sand buggy out, park, and drive out there.
Yeah, the feedback I've had is that people would like to have it open.
Yeah, the local people.
The local people.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but have we reached out to like the sheriff's office and asked them if they're comfortable with this? I mean, is there anybody else we need to be talking to?
I think that's a good point. I talked to a sheriff's deputy there yesterday morning when I visited. I made a round of all the parks yesterday, and I saw some good things I want to tell you about, but I asked the sheriff's deputy that was there, and he didn't see a problem with it. But I'll run that past the sheriff. That's a good idea.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Sheriff's here, I don't have a problem with it.
The sheriff's here. He indicates he has no issues with it. We have the sheriff and Captain Fabrizio are here.
Oh, good. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So the other thing I'd like to report was that, I was very impressed when I went to Bassendorf. It was on a Sunday, and one of the caretakers, who's done all the trimming of all the salal out there, was out doing some more chainsaw work, removing some old stumps. And so that was pretty nice. Our staff is now excited enough about working, they're working on a Sunday when they don't normally have to. When I went to Powers, the caretaker up there was out mowing some grass with a hand mower, and real excited about what they're doing. And so there's a good deal of enthusiasm, I think, here all of a sudden coming from our staff. The parks looked good, I thought.
Well, that's good.
Except for 10 Mile, Bob, which can't look good.
I talked to some of the caretakers here a while back at Riley, and they were busy doing all kinds of things, trying to make it spiffy for the potential opening.
Yep. No, it looks nice. So with that, I'll run all this past parks. I unfortunately could not meet with them this morning. John and Craig were on their way up to Riley to get some more work going on getting that new area opened up. But they'll be back, and I'll meet with them at 1 o'clock. And with your blessing, we'll see if we can get these things done. I thank you.
Yeah, sounds good.
Great. Sounds good to me too.
All right. So I think that's all there is, unless there's any other issues that anyone wants to bring up at this point.
Yeah, I've got one. This is Paul Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
Based on some comments that were made in the 9 o'clock meeting with the health department, I just want to bring up a couple of things in regards to people that are not obeying the governor's emergency orders and what we can do about that. And I don't want to sound like I'm a stick in the mud or anything, but I went and double-checked with Judge Stone this morning. If we've got people that are violating the order, if we are looking at prosecuting them for violating the order, I want people to be aware that based on the Chief Justice's order that's in place right now, because those would be a violation, a C misdemeanor, the lowest crime in the criminal justice system in Oregon. They would be cited to appear in court sometime in the month of July. If the Chief Justice's order is not lifted regarding what we can do in courts, if their date comes up in July and the Chief Justice's order is still in place, that arraignment or whatever would be automatically continued to a date further down the road. So I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're looking for the DA's office or the criminal justice system to be able to, through the criminal justice citation of a crime way of dealing with people who are not obeying the order, the problem's going to be is there's not going to be an immediate resolution of the case. It could be 2, 3, 4 months down the road before that even gets to the point of potential resolution. So I guess what I'm saying is if you're looking at an immediate solution to a problem, we're going to have to look to something other than citing them to court.
I agree. And there are other solutions. You know, one is if it's a restaurant, they're violating their restaurant license. You know, you don't get to do things that the state of Oregon has already said you can't do and still keep your restaurant license. Another one is, you know, this is also, my understanding, is an OSHA violation. And I know that OSHA has posted other businesses that have been operating illegally. And then, you know, Paul, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me that if you violate the law like this and then somebody gets sick from eating in your restaurant because they were exposed to COVID-19, I think they could potentially have a cause of action. And businesses should think about that when they make that decision to reopen in violation of the law.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, although I've never practiced civil law, so my opinion, for what it's worth, is probably next to nothing. But I think they're...
And neither of us are giving anybody legal advice, but that's what I would be worried about if I was done.
Yeah, but I would also think about, since we're having arguments in criminal cases now about contributory negligence when it comes to restitution issues, there would be potentially an argument, well, you were aware of the order and you went there anyway, so, you know, it could be a wash on the civil side. I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. I think we need to make sure that people are aware that the order is still in place. I like to believe that some people are just confused and think since the governor has talked about a reopening plan, that it's okay to be open. I'm hoping that if people realize that they're putting our whole application in jeopardy, they'll think twice about what they're doing, because they're putting everybody at risk.
Yeah, and that was one of my thoughts, would be that people are hearing about the reopening and that maybe they've seen that the county has submitted a plan, and that, you know, some people might get the wrong impression and think that maybe the governor's order 2012, which is still in place, isn't in place anymore, and go out and rush out and do something. Paul, I agree with you. Obviously, if this is going on the criminal Class C misdemeanor side, there's no immediate resolution to anything. But as Melissa pointed out, which is absolutely true, there's lots of non-criminal civil and administrative mechanisms that can go into place. And honestly, we've had, you know, a few businesses before that were contacted by the health department and given a letter saying these are the things that could happen to you. And sometimes, you know, just listing out that you could be cited for a Class C misdemeanor makes someone stop doing what they're doing, regardless of whether, you know, it might be until July or August or something if they were to be cited before they would have to appear. A lot of people don't want that on their record regardless. So just my 2 cents.
I understand that, and like I was saying, is I just I just don't want people to have expectations that the DA through the criminal justice system is going to be able to get at an immediate resolution. We're going to have to look at other options, and business licenses is one way to go. OLCC would be another, especially if you're looking at a place that has a liquor license. OSHA, I hadn't thought about that, but there's all kinds of things out there that could probably more immediately address the issue than us filing something with the circuit court.
Well, and I think there's direct administrative authority for the local public health authority through the environmental health to have some enforcement of up to a $500 fine per day for a violation of the governor's executive orders on this issue.
Thank you. That's good information. Melissa, I have one more thing I'd like to bring up, just kind of information. if anyone
Okay,
has
great.
time for a nice drive, drive out the Seven Devils. Just as you're coming from the highway toward the coast, I think it's just past the entrance to the South Slough facility. And on your left-hand side, there's a Jenkins property that we've been wrestling with for years. And then you keep on going towards Charleston, and there's another property, one that that we had recommended for accelerated foreclosure, I believe. And one of the attorneys locally convinced us otherwise. Those two places are absolutely horrible. And I'm so frustrated that we can't do anything about it. And there's just got to be an answer. But I appreciate people taking a look at it. And I know we got full plates, we always do, but it's beyond belief that people would accumulate that much crap and live like a bunch of pigs, and that we can't do something about it. So, if you want a fun afternoon or morning, won't take very long. You should see what's out there.
Sightseeing.
Yeah, absolutely horrible. And two things are horrible. One, that it happens in the first place, and the second, that we can't figure out what to do about it. So, on that cheery note, I don't have anything more.
All right. Anything else from you, Commissioner Maine?
No, thank you.
All right. And, well, I guess we are adjourned. Talk
Thank
to you all
you.
soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.